Right, let's play Tybalt's Trickery. I can't not play it. It might get a ban at some point. Or maybe they ban some of this shit. Hopefully they fix the Cascade by... oh fuck, I'll delete the card. Hopefully they fix Cascade with the Tybalt Valky deck just by fixing the Cascade mechanic with the rules that I talked about in a video yesterday. Or the day before, depending if this goes out on Tuesday or Wednesday. This deck won't get fixed by that. And it might not be good enough to really worry about. As we're going to see, this deck is kind of fucking stupid. But that said, it is Glass Cannon. It does fold quite hard to Thoughtseizes and Force of Negations, and it has an inbuilt fail rate as well. So I do personally think this deck is less of an issue than the Valky Tybalt Cascade decks. They are more of a problem because they're real. They have backup plans and shit. So our game plan is to get to 3 mana. To do that, we have 24 lands and 4 Simian Spirit Guides. Probably one too many lands now, look at it. We have a lot of lands that make all colours of mana, with downsides like damage and shit, but we don't really give a shit because we're hoping to win by turn 2 or 3 anyway. Gemstone Caverns is a unique land that's going to show up in more and more combo decks as time goes on and Magic gets faster and faster. Basically, if you don't start the game, if you're on the draw, let's say, you can exile a card from your hand and start with this in play, and it's a Utopia land that makes all types of mana colours. So that, plus Simian Spirit Guide means we can pop off on turn 1. We go this in their turn, untap, play a land, play a Simian Spirit Guide, then we cast one of our 3 mana Cascaders. We go Cascade, 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 which says when you cast this spell, exile cards at the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. So we cast Tybalt's Trickery with the trigger from the Cascade. Once that trigger is resolved and this is on the stack, this can then target the original spell that had Cascade because that's still in the stack. We counter this with Tybalt's Trickery, which says, you counter the spell, you randomly choose 1, 2, or 3, you mirror yourself with that number, then you reveal cards on top of your library until you hit a non-land card that does not share a name with the old spell. So if it's Violent Outburst, you can't hit a Violent Outburst. If it's Ardent Plea, you can't hit an Ardent Plea. Hopefully you don't hit the other, well, if you hit the other Cascade, it'll be Cascade getting hit another Tybalt's Trickery, which counters our Cascading spell, which then allows us to go in Tybalt's Trickery again, and hopefully we don't hit a Simian Spirit Guide, because that's the real whiff, or another Tybalt's Trickery. But we only play 3, so if we go Trickery, if we go Cascade spell into Trickery, Trickery the Cascade spell, hit the other Cascade spell, Cascade into Trickery, it just decreases our chance of hitting a 3rd Trickery. So if we Trickery into Brilliant Ultimatum, we get to exile top 5 cards of our library, they put them into 2 piles, and we cast one of those piles. If we hit Omniscience, we can cast shit in our hand. If we hit Ulamog, we exile their shit. If we hit any of the Cosmetics, we just draw a lot of cards. And if we hit Emrakul, we take an extra turn, and we annihilate them, both literally, physically, metaphorically, and emotionally. We have a sideboard of cards that I'm not exactly sure how we use them. I just know this is for Dredge and Oops or Spells, potentially. This is if we are coming against Counter Magic or Blood Moon. This is against other fast combo decks, maybe, but I doubt I'll bring it in. This is against Blood Moon, maybe? And then this. Reed Duke was playing this. I don't know why. Let's play some Magic. And don't forget, if you enjoy this video and you want to support the channel, you can use the code KENOBI over at channelfireball.com and picking up your sealed product or singles to help support. Or there's a link to the Patreon down below. For $2 a month, you can get involved with the Discord where I hang out quite regularly. We play games over there. People play EDH. We play Warhammer. There's Splicer calls for the higher tier patrons too and all that jazz. Magic! So we don't have a Cascade spell, so we're going to mulligan this. This hand has a Cascade spell, so we're going to keep it. Our opponent flashed in a Rattle Chains on our end of our second turn, which means we're up against Spirits. They could have a Spell Queller for our Ardent Plea, frustratingly. We're going to go for a Violent Outburst in their end set that we just drew, and then cast an Ardent Plea in our turn. They cast a Shacklegeist here. Do you know what? I might just go for a Violent Out. Do I go for it here? Yeah, why not? We get a Tybalt's Trickery, target a Violent Outburst, and we hit another... Wait, what do we hit? Brilliant Ultimatum? Yeah, let's cast that. We hit 4 hands and an Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. Not quite what you want from Brilliant Ultimatum, but basically we're just going to cast a fucking Ulamog. So we put Ulamog onto the stack. We trigger. We're going to kill the Rattle Chains and the Hallowed Fountain. Seems like not a bad turn 3, honestly. Casting like 4 spells and an Ulamog. They cast another Shacklegeist, which allows them to tap down our Ulamog. We drew a Simian Spirit Guide, which gives us an extra mana. We're going to go to combat and attack if they let us. I assume they tap down the Ulamog here. They do. Okay. Second main phase. That's Ardent Plea. Cast Tybalt's Trickery, targeting Ardent Plea. Find an Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. We're going to cast that. We get an extra turn after this one. We untap, and for some reason, our opponent scoops. Okay, we can't do anything with this. This is a mulligan. This is a turn 2 Violent Ultimatum, and we have Ardent Pleas too. We have to discard one of them. What if we draw a Simian Spirit Guide? Would that be the greatest day ever? Our opponent has mulligan to 6 as well. Make a Gemstone Caverns, say okay, and we're going to ditch a Plea. Which is weird, because that tells them, I guess that tells them we have multiple Cascade spells in hand. Because if we ditch a Plea, it's because we've got too many Pleas, right? That's a very big fucking tell, as they call it in poker. Pillars of the Payroon, Pillars of the Parun, Pillars of the Parents, Pillar of the Peru, Spectral Sailor, probably one of my top 10 sailors of all time, alongside Popeye the Sailor Man, and Sailor Moon, and Star Sailor. They were dancing in the moonlight many moons ago. Supreme Phantom from our opponent. So once they got Force of Negation, we're going to get to go off, like, and do whatever the fuck we want. Take one from Spectral, well, take 2 from Spectral Sailor. It's a Supreme Spectral Sailor now. Cast Ardent Plea. Cascade into the Trickery. Let's hope we don't whiff. Here we go. What do we find? An Emrakul, the Aeon Storm. We're going to cast that without paying its mana cost. Again, for some reason, our opponent doesn't want to play any more Magic. It's only turn 2. It's a bit of an early concession. We've lost the die roll. And I think that's alright. I'm okay with that. 3 lands. This is a turn 1. This is a turn 1. If they have Thoughtseize though, we are fucked. We're going to put Gemstone Caverns onto the battlefield, and we're going to exile Omniscience from our hand. Emrakul is better in hand if we actually cascade into an Omniscience. No Thoughtseize, no Thoughtseize. Would you look at that? We cascade. We get Tybalt's Trickery, we cast it on Ardent Plea. We get ourselves a Violent Outburst, which we have to cast again. We cascade again. We go Tybalt's Trickery, we cast it on Violent Outburst. We hit an Ulamog that ceases hunger. Okay, that'll do. That'll do, pig. On the upside, they can... Oh, we've got to exile our own land. Well, shit. Is it not up to? I've never had less things in play. Well, exile one of our own lands. They get to correct their fetch land in response now and keep a land. Now, if they have a path to exile, we're very sad. So we exile one of our own lands and make it 10-10. We only have one more Trickery left in the deck as well. So even if we draw enough, we ain't there. Well, I say that. If we draw another Cascader, we might be there. But we might not too, because, well, I guess we have no whiff. Well, we can whiff on a Simian, right? Spellsky, okay. What year is this? And they scoop it up. Maybe they have a mainboard answer to Ulamog. Okay. Don't have a fucking clue what they're playing, so sideboarding can fuck off. Ideally don't want the Trickery in hand, but we'll keep this. Worst case scenario, we have to get to 5 mana and Tybalt Trickery our own monkey when we draw it. And when I say worst case, that is pretty much a worst case. Okay, is this Infect? Are we playing as Infect? We're playing as Infect. We drew, oh no, we have 1 Trickery left in the deck. If it hits a monkey, we're fucked. Okay, let's go Pillar of the Payrunes. The reason we don't play, this is a wonderful art by the way, the reason we don't play 4 Tybalt Trickery is because we don't want to Tybalt Trickery into Tybalt Trickery if we can help it. So drawing 2 does reduce our chances of whiffing. However, it means we don't have another go round if they have a counter magic here, like a Mana Leak, for example, or a Remand. They animate Inkmoth Nexus. They get in for 2 Infect. Okay. They play a Spellsky. Okay. We draw a Simian Spirit Guide. Okay. I mean, our chance of whiffing here are lower than they've ever been this video, right? Because we have 3 of the things that whiff in hand. We cascade into Tybalt's Trickery, obviously. We Tybalt's Trickery Violent Outburst into Omniscience. We cast Omniscience, no Force Negation. We cast an Ulamog, which is going to go ahead and get rid of Spellsky and the Inkmoth Nexus. They're going to pay to redirect. They can't, because it's already a target. I don't think you can get one of the targets to be the Spellsky, I don't think. No, they can't. They just paid 2 life anyway. Cool. Ulamog resolves. We then cast a Simian Spirit Guide with Omniscience. We're going to Tybalt's Trickery with Omniscience. Find a Kozilek the Great Distortion. Cast that. Draw back up to 7. And they scoop. Why? Why? It's only turn 3. Why are you scooping? We had a whole other Magic players. Our opponent's called Master Horus, which means they probably love 40k. Our opponent knows who I am. That's cool. We mulligan this because we don't have a... That's the same hand, Modo. That's the same fucking hand. Okay, this will have to do. This will have to do. We're 1 land or 1 mana off of a Violent Outburst. Our opponent is lovely. We're talking about 40k. I feel bad for playing this deck against them. But you never know. Maybe they'll Thoughtseize us. I'm kind of rooting for our opponent, honestly. Nothing from our opponent there, so we get to untap with a thing, and we didn't draw another thing. We just drew the thing. Let's go Violent Outburst. Hopefully they aren't playing Thoughtseize. I say hopefully. For us to win, we don't want them to be playing Thoughtseize or Counter Magic. Our 2 weaknesses. They crack their Verdant. They get a Rhinewood Falls. The Snowdall. They play a Polluted Delta. And pass back to us. If we draw a Simian, we get to Violent Outburst. We did not, so we're just going to have to keep Marit Lage's Slumber. Oof, I like it. No land from our opponent. We drew another Violent Outburst, which is nice. We're just going to go for a hit while they're tapped out. We've got another one in case they have Force of Negation here. We know there's a Trickery on the bottom of our library, because we put it there. Trickery our Violent Outburst. Find Brilliant Ultimatum and cast it. We find a Kozilek, an Ardent Plea, and an Emrakul. So this is a rock and a hard place. They get to put these into 2 piles, and we get to cast one of them. I'm going to choose pile 2 to cast here, so we get another turn with the Emrakul. We're going to cast Ardent Plea, and then we're going to cast an Emrakul, so we get another turn. After we cascade into a Tybalt's Trickery, which is going to cast on the Ardent Plea, which gets a Violent Outburst, which then cascades again. And they just scoop it up. I have no idea why. I've only just realised while sat here that I've included Great Distortion, or La Grande Distortion, as my Italian copy in my Minikube says. It doesn't have Annihilator. It does have Menace, though. And the whole discarded card with the convert mana cost X to counter target spell cost X. Well, if you look at our deck, we can't really just counter, like, Supreme Verdict. Well, firstly, it's uncounterable. And secondly, we don't have a Force EMC spell. We can't counter Path to Exiles. We can't counter... long story short, it's bad and I shouldn't be playing it. It's good with Omniscience, drawing back up to 7. I guess actually hitting a Kozilek and drawing up to an Ardent Plea or a Violent Outburst isn't terrible. Yeah. This hand is bad. Okay, this is also bad. This, I can work with. We've got a turn 1 Violent Outburst. And as you can see, I've worn a couple of Throws of Chaos in case they have blue counter magic. Because Throws of Chaos allows us to retrace it. Now, it's not great. I've just realized when we're like Simianing it out. But there you go. Let's keep this. Put 2 cards back. Let's put back Brilliant Ultimatum and Throws, actually. Let's play a Gemstone. Let's put Ardent Plea in the exile zone. They're going to have 1 land up. If they Thoughtseize us, we're in trouble. If they don't Thoughtseize us, we're in less trouble. Ascendant Spirit. Okay, so they're really in on the snowplow, and I like it. I like it, and I feel bad that basically what we're doing overshadows all the snow shit. Oh, well, actually, fuck snow. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Exile a Simian Spirit Guide, cast Violent Outburst, cascade into, well, surprise, surprise, a Tybalt's Trickery. Cast that, target a Violent Outburst. What do we hit? Do they have Force of Negation? We hit a Brilliant Ultimatum. We get to cast it. This Emrakul trigger is just shuffling the graveyard back in. We hit Emrakul and Omniscience. Now, how rough. We're gonna take... The Emrakul's probably better. Was it Omniscience cast Ulamog better? They're both... I guess the lands are good in case they have an answer. But Emrakul means they can't really have an answer. I'm going to choose pile 1. Wow, Emrakul is better than Omniscience and 4 lands? 3 lands? That's wild, isn't it? Because, like, this doesn't even fail to path. Emrakul only cares about permanence. And we're going to attack and blow up a land and the spirit, you know? Our opponent was very nice about it. They asked if we were playing nasty today, and I said, yeah, I got a record with it, right? I had a counter and veil, but turn 1, I mean, yeah. I'm sorry, mate. Friend. We're the bad guys, chat. We're the bad guys. We're going to take another turn after this. And we're just going to go swinging. Counter magic is good. But turn 1, make an Emrakul is arguably better. And they scoop it up. This is a mull. This is a mull. This. I can work with this. Our opponent's kept a 7 because magic isn't fair. Our opponent's cast a Thoughtseize off of a Talisman of Resilience, which is pretty fucking wild, because magic isn't fair. Our opponent is also playing a combo deck in Oops All Spells. Wow, they play Mana Rocks now? Magic really isn't fair. We get Creeping Shield a fuckload, and we get Narcomoeba too. If we get to untap and draw a Cascader, then maybe, just maybe, we can take multiple turns and not let them ever untap. Oh, there's shit tons of Vengevines, ain't there? Yeah, that's a lot. I'm dead. This hand is Thoughtseize proof, but only has 1 land. I don't think I can keep that. Have they kept? Oh fuck, we have to pick first. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'd rather not get Thoughtseized again. 22 more lands and 4 Simian Spirit Guides to go. They play a Prism. We draw a 3rd land, 8th hub. Now, can't they just make a Balustrade Spy next turn anyway? So we're just fucked unless we draw another land. And they don't make a... Well, no, Spy or the other one. What's the other one called? Fucking... Is this it? What's this called? Oh, yeah, there you go. Balustrade Spy. Yeah, we're dead. We're dead. Their combo deck was more combo-y than ours, because they're just going to cast the Salvage Titan now. With the things. I've made a video on this deck before. I'll put a link in the description or in the cards of this video. They get a load of fucking swords. They bring back a fucking Salvage Titan. You may sacrifice 3 artifacts rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Exile 3 artifact cards from your graveyard, put it in hand. You put it in hand, sacrifice these 3, cast it, bring back 3 Vengevines, and kill us. So I'm just gonna scoop it up there. We're fucked. Do we draw another land next? Was I right to do so? Look at that. But our opponent had a better turn 2 combo deck than we did. Do you remember the turn 4 rule? Do you remember? We have won the die roll. We do not have a Cascader. We're gonna mulligan. We have got a 1-lander, 1 Simian Spirit Guide, need a green source. We're gonna mulligan. We've got no fucking mulligan. We have Vine Outburst and 3 lands. That's it. That's all we need. We're going to keep this. We're going to put Grand Le Distortion. We're going to put Tybalt's Trickery. And we're going to put Gemstone Caverns, because it's legendary. Whoa, hold on there. Yeah, we've got Mana Confluence. I almost thought if we have triple Reflecting Pool, we are fucked. And we're going to play Mana Confluence. And we're going to pass the turn. Now, maybe we'll just draw a Simian Spirit Guide, and that mulligan to 4 won't be so brutal. Basically, Magic hates me. Oh god, if that was a Thoughtseize, I would do a little shit. Reflecting Pool, pass the turn. Just Kroxus. Just Kroxus. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Are they doing the same? Blood Moon? Fuck. Okay, well. Looks like we're up against some unfair shit playing Moon. We have 1 forest in our deck. Fuck. Yeah, they're going into Tibalt here. They're going into Valky. Yep, there we go. We stream this on Monday night. There'll be some more of it on the channel. There'll be some more of it on CFB. It'll just be all over Magic until Wizards fix some of these things. They have a Tibalt now. We're going to concede, so they don't know exactly what we're doing, so they don't know if we're on that or some weird variant of... Well, this would be a weird variant of that, because that version doesn't play the mana base that we're playing. But we are soft as shit to Blood Moon. Now, we're going to bring in 4 Throws of Chaos for that reason. I'm tempted to bring in Crossing Grips, but I don't think I want to. And then we're just going to cut some things that we can't cast with Blood Moon, namely Ardent Plea. Maybe cut 3 of those. Okay, we're going to play first. We've got the thing. We're in trouble if they have a Blood Moon again, but we're just going to go with it. Look, I would love to 4-1 this league, but Blood Moon has other ideas. They could also be Tibalt in here. They could be Tibalt in pretty hard. We're going to go with Mana Confluence. I think the Tibalt Valky deck is hands down better than what we're playing. I think it's far more consistent in the sense that it's not a glass cannon. What we're doing... fuck. What we're doing is just trying to hammer out a glass combo. What we're doing is truly a glass cannon in the sense that we don't really have much of an end game other than making the combo, right? Whereas the Valky deck, there's 2 clear variants here. There's this one playing the Blood Moon. What is this going to be? Bloodbraid Elf into... There, so this is the Jund variant. This plays Blood Moon, it plays Bloodbraid Elf, it plays Valky, which transforms into a Tibalt. And then there's also the Uro Omnath version we played on stream on Monday night, which has the backup plan of just Uros and Omnaths. We here are looking to draw the 4-mana Cascade spell to get somewhere. That's our only out, really. We didn't draw it. That's fine. Play a mountain. I think if you wanted to beat the Blood Moon decks with this, although like I said this is glass cannon, I wouldn't recommend going all in on this deck, especially with the coming changes and potential bans too, if they think this is not healthy for the modern format. This deck that we're playing against will probably get changes from how Cascade works. This version of the deck, which obviously cascades into a 2-drop spell, maybe it'll get hit by the ban if I don't like it. But if you were going a bit more all in on this, I would consider the mana base perhaps needing... It slows it down by having fetch Triome mana bases like the Jund version of this and the Uro version of this, but it does mean that if you have fetch lands, we could have fetched a Forest turn 1, game 2 to play around the Blood Moon. So our only hope really now is to draw the 4-mana Cascader, cascade into Trickery, and hit Omniscience, cast Kozilek and Ulamog and Brilliant Ultimatum, and just go absolutely fucking wild. Now, they played a Valky, which allows them to take one of our Eldrazi. They take Ulamog because Ulamog is the best one in our hand, by quite a significant margin. I guess with an Omniscience in play, there's an argument that Kozilek the Great Distortion is better, but Ulamog is just better if we were able to cast it. We take 6, they're going to 8. We untap. Do we draw? No, we don't. We are dead. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, it's turn 5. That was the longest game of Magic I think we played that league. We went 3-2. My first time playing the deck. The deck is not hard. It's fucking nonsense, but it's not hard. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. My name's been Vince, also known as Pleasant Kenobi on the internet. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, smash that bell, don't forget to subscribe, and more importantly, tell me in the comment section below what you think of all this shit happening to Standard and Modern and Legacy and, to a lesser extent, Vintage and Pioneer and Historic too. Just tell me in the comment section below, are you fed up with it? Do you think it's fun for a little while? Are you okay with the bans? Whilst no one's playing paper, I guess it doesn't fucking matter, right? But this can't carry on into the post-pandemic world when we start playing paper again. Anyway, I've been Vince, also known as Pleasant Kenobi on the internet. I'll see you all soon. Ta-ta for now.